Alright, welcome back to Dearman Customs, and today I've been working on the DIY press brake and had to do a lot of grinding. So I got this piece, and this will be the part that presses down on whatever you're wanting to bend. And anyway, that was a heck of a lot of grinding. No point in videoing that. I do have to get the plasma cutter out because I'm gonna have to cut it down. And I'll probably save these pieces for just like a little smaller press brake piece. I got to cut that angle over there down, clean it up. I'm gonna have to cut a piece out of this plate here for a base plate, and then some of that 2-inch flat bar, I'm gonna have to cut it down, and it'll kind of be like a brace for the sides of that angle. But anyhow, that's it for right now. Like I said, I got to get the plasma cutter out and get started on that. Now I will video cutting those pieces up and everything like that, but there was no point in just watching me grind that plate because that was a lot of grinding. Wish I had a milling machine, would have made it a lot easier, but I don't. So did it by hand. It'll be all right. And I get that plasma cutter set up, and we'll get some video of that. All right, having to do a little bit of layout. This is going to be the base plate for that press brake. And once we get this laid out, I'll go get the other plate, get everything set up, and start cutting all this stuff out. I do have to cut that piece of angle down, and I got to cut some flat bar down. So I'm going to do this layout, and then we'll get the plasma out and everything else. Looks like we might have some rain trying to come up on us, but we'll deal with that as it comes. Alright, that will be our base plate. These little pieces sticking out are going to go into the structure on the press to kind of keep that base from sliding around, and it'll give a place to weld a post up where spring's going to go and all that. But I'm going to go ahead and get everything set up, then I'll start videoing again when I get everything set up and ready to cut. gonna have to go slow on this. Might need to go turn it up just a little bit more. Only got a 50 amp breaker on a welding machine, so it's a 65 amp plasma cutter, but I only have 50 amps. I can only go up to 50 amps. Of course, I didn't need 50 amps for that 316. This could use the 50 amps. Alright, so I don't know where I lost you at, but anyway, my battery died. So we got the 3/4 inch plate cut. About to cut this angle, got to cut 2 pieces of flat bar, then all of our materials are going to be cut, and except for the pipe. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this cut, and then I get the flat bar over here. So yeah, we'll be done for today. And also, I did get the motor cycle moved out, so we'll be starting to work on that here soon. Well, that's going to do it for today. And we'll get this stuff cleaned up. It'll be time to start putting everything together. I don't think it's going to take too much to get it put together and get everything ready to work. But got to get this stuff cleaned up. I'm not going to bore you with that on camera because it's just a bunch of grinding. So anyhow, I'll get that stuff cleaned up, and then next we'll be putting it together, getting everything, welding everything, and getting this thing in service so we can got everything laid out, ready to tack up this press brake. Got my centers lined up, got everything ready to go. Going to do a little time lapse because we're going to get this thing fit up, and then I'm going to check it and make sure everything goes back into the press itself correctly. Once we add these new pieces to it and everything like that, make sure that it goes back in there before we weld it out. But we'll get it fit up, do that. I'm doing a little time lapse here of the fit up and the welding, and I'll show you how everything works out. Hopefully it goes back in there right, because the base plate went fine. So as long as it fits back in there, because you do have to kind of angle it to get it in between the channels on the press. I'll show you all that once we get to that point, but as of right now, I'm just going to go ahead and fit this up, weld it out, and I'll show you how it fits in there. So I have the press brake pretty much done. There's a few things I'm gonna have to do to it. Some more cleaning up to get the BBs and stuff off there, because I don't want any kind of interference whenever I do go to bending some metal. But I think I'm gonna order 2 more springs. I could have moved these pipes down a little bit further, and it would have held it up high enough. But right now it's not up high enough for me to slide a piece of material in there, so I will have to order a couple more springs to hold that up a little bit higher, but no big deal. I could have moved these down, but it was hard to judge and everything, so it's done. It will serve its purpose. I might have to cut these off, but I'm not going to do that just yet because I might need it once I add the other 2 springs. I need to add a center piece there for the hydraulic ram on the press brake to push on and center up, I guess. But all in all, it's done. I'm about to go and try to bend a piece of metal, even though I need to add that center piece. But all in all, it's done. I did grind all this weld down and kind of run over the top just to make sure there's no interference. Probably wouldn't have been, but it didn't take that long to take that off and make it flush. So anyhow, I'm gonna take this in the shop, put it where it needs to go, and I'll catch y'all in there. All right, well, I got it set up in here. There were some design flaws. It's a little too wide. I cut some of the round bar off already so I could get it in here. May take a little bit more off. It's in there. It's going to work. I'm probably going to have to put a half hole in the frame of the press, kind of in between some of the existing holes. Like I said, it's in, but you see how far that rams out, so I need to come up with it a little bit more. It was a little bit of a pain in the butt to get it in because I designed it to where the spring and the pipe and the round bar would be inside those channels, and that base plate where I cut it out with that notch in it, you can't see it, but anyway, that notch was designed to go inside those channels to keep it from trying to slide in and out. But it did make it a little bit of a headache to get in there, but that's okay, because I mean, once it's in there, I mean, you know, unless you got to press a bearing or something, that's probably what I'm going to be using it for the most of the time, is to try to bend something. So that's exactly what we're about to do, is try to bend a piece of this plate, which it already had a little bit of radius in it, but we're going to try to make a 90 and see how it does. And I got some thicker plate I might use to try to make another bend, just to see how it does, put it through the test, and you know, make sure it does what I want it to do. But other than that, I guess just gonna watch me try to bend a piece of plate. Hopefully we have enough ram. That's one thing I'm worried about with it being so low, is having enough ram. Well, definitely been it. Let's see how it looks. It needed to go that far up, but here's what it is. And the springs seem to be stuck down. Yeah, we're gonna have to get another set of springs. Now, it does look like it went over 90, but like I said, there was a little bit of a roll in the plate already, but it definitely bent it. So, like I said, there's going to be some adjustments and some room to improve on. But I do have a digital degree finder, and whenever I'm trying to bend something to a specific degree, I'll put it on that plate and bend it, watch it, and make sure that we get to the exact degree. Now I did grind this thick plate past 45. That may have been a mistake. I don't know. I was just looking at it that way it doesn't bind up with the material when you're trying to bend it. So let me grab a thicker piece of plate and see what it does. All right, this is some 3/16 plate. I had made these for a different project, and I decided to go a different route. This was for the hinges. That was going to be the plate, but that's just too much, so I just went with the one like y'all saw. But anyhow, so these are left over from that. We'll see if it will bend in. See, once I get those other springs, I won't have to like try to fight that. They'll hold it up so I can get this material in where I want it. And I think we're going to go with that. See what it does. think it'll bend it fine, but like I said, I do believe I'm going to have to make some in-between holes because, I don't know, we'll just have to adjust and play with it and see how everything works out. I believe there's a screw adjustment on the top of that round, and that might be the route to go versus drilling some holes. I don't know. We'll see. It's definitely tight now. But it is bending it. Is it bending something else? I don't know. Hopefully not. Hopefully everything's holding up the way it should. I put these 2-inch 2x4 flat bar in here to kind of stiffen all that up for stuff like this. Well, I think it's working. I think that's it. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, it bent it. But I do believe it would be better if we weren't so stretched out right there. Definitely gonna have to improve on this where it's getting stuck. Well, that's it. So it bent 3/16 plate, pretty decent. Let's see if I had a square handy. Got one outside. Tell you what, I'm gonna go find a square. We're gonna see how well it did just bottoming it out. Not even checking the degree or anything, just go. All right, found a square. Now it is not 90. Oh, not quite sure what I need to do about that. Now, maybe I might have to regrind this piece because me over grinding it more than 45 on either side, that may be the problem. I was thinking to take more material out so you got room for this material to bend. That could be the problem, but that's easily fixed. I can regrind and make it 45 on either side, so maybe it'll put more of a 90-degree bend. I don't know. And I may wind up having to add something in here to get a sharper bend, but I'll play around with it, see what we can do. It's not horrible, but it's definitely not 90. So I'll just have to see. I have to play around with it some. Kind of might have to add some shims in there to get that full 90. So, but we'll see. That's it on the DIY press brake. It does work. It just needs some improvement, and we'll work with it and get it to where it'll bend a true 90. So that'll be good, but it will be handy on those round pieces. I do have another mower here the customer dropped off. I got to replace those baffles. It's got to get some bearings replaced as well. So I might video the bearings being replaced, but you already saw the baffles getting put in, so I'm not going to video that. And then getting back on the bike. So hopefully there'll be another video of the bike coming up soon. And like I said, that's it for this. I mean, we'll just have to tinker with it, and improve it, and make it where we get a true 90. No big deal. So, all right. Well, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.